Thank you so much, Terry. Hey guys, let me hit my, refresh the screen, get this turned back on. How's everybody doing? Are you having a creamy and delicious time? Awesome. All right. Cool. So my name is Alex Linnebrink. I am the CEO of a company by the name of Passage, which is an event ticketing and payments platform. We've been around for about 4 years. We service several thousand events across the world really now, but mostly in the United States and North America. And about, upwards of $10 million a year in total ticket volume. So I've been in this world for a little bit, seen what happens and doesn't happen really in the event ticketing world. I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. I've also got 3 other members of our team here. I'll point out Doug Drouillard. Drouillard? Yes, cool. And Doug is a blockchain expert working on some new technology that we're going to talk a little bit about, PassageX here. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. All right, so the problem that we're going to discuss today is one that's near and dear to my heart as an event ticketing guy. And if you've ever purchased tickets online or performed and had tickets sold to your event, these are 2 places, 2 things that I think you're going to be somebody who will feel some of the pain here. And that is that the event ticketing industry is broken. Just flat out, it is not serving the people who it's supposed to right now. And those are the fans, people buying tickets that want to have a great time, and the artists, the people who are putting on these events that you as a fan are trying to support. There's 3 main reasons. If you fit into one of those 2 categories, you're going to run into one of these 3 main reasons very frequently. Number 1, ridiculously high service fees. Have any of you guys ever gotten to the end of a checkout for some events and you see that your fees all of a sudden make your checkout 20, 30, 40% more than you originally thought the price was going to be? Anybody? Yeah? Cool. Awesome. Not cool, but this is a problem, especially, if you're somebody who's on a little bit of a budget, because not only are you wondering what value is this adding, oftentimes this might actually be a deal breaker. And this might stop you from completing that purchase that you have for your tickets because you can't afford it anymore. You've come to your limit on your pocket there. So this is a really big problem, especially if you're trying to reach as many people as possible and all of a sudden it's stopping them from coming when those fees get added on there. Number 2, unchecked ticket fraud. This is especially prevalent happens a lot on secondary sales markets, so resale. So if you already bought a ticket, you're trying to resell it to somebody else because you can't make it, or you're trying to buy one to a sold out event, you'll see this happen a lot there, where only about 10% of those sales are actually validated when they're posted on those networks there. So instead, what you end up seeing is a lot of tickets are not only listed, but they're actually sold multiple times. Well, just because you sell one ticket multiple times doesn't mean multiple people are actually going to be able to get into the event. So what happens a lot of times is just the first person that gets to the event that is let in, and then after that, everybody else that shows up with this basically copy of that ticket gets turned away because the ticket has already been used. Super frustrating if you've ever had this happen. If you haven't, dread it, because it does happen a lot, and this is not a good night. If you have been trying to see an artist for 2-3 years and you go to this event, or you're on a hot date and you're really trying to impress your significant other, it's not a good thing to get turned away because they say your ticket's already been used when you get there. Number 3, unfair revenue splits. Again, especially on secondary markets where tickets are being resold, you're paying 20 to 30% in fees, and those fees aren't even going to support the people that you're trying to go to support when you're buying those tickets. They're not supporting the artists, they're not supporting the event producers, they're not supporting the venues that are putting on these events. There's no split to those for these secondary fee sales. So they're just left out. And instead of them supporting the artists, they're basically just padding the pockets of corporations. And again, for what added value? What is going on here that's that difficult when they're not even checking to make sure these tickets are valid before they're selling them to you? There's very little added value here. So, if only we could potentially think of a technology where you could lower service fees You could make things more transparent so you see where fees are going and potentially even stop fraudulent transactions from happening. Too bad that there's no technology that exists like that in the world. Oh well. No, just kidding. It's blockchain. That's what we're all here about. We've been hearing about it, the whole time we've been here, hopefully for months before this, when you've been digging into STEEM and looking at the technology behind all of this. You've been seeing that this is something that can accomplish all of those goals. We look at STEEM and we see microtransactions happening with 0 fees next to them in milliseconds. And we see that these are irreversible because they're recorded on the blockchain, so they don't go anywhere. This is the technology we need for event ticketing as well. So we're working on that right now with a project called PassageX, and we're here to try to talk to you guys about it and get your feedback and see if we can get anybody to help out as well. So this is what we've been working on. Doug has been leading the development efforts here. I on the business side, and it's called the PassageX network. And what we've done is we've utilized blockchain technology actually in 2 different places to create a secondary market that anybody can use and plug into and potentially get splits of those fees that are happening there. It can lower those fees because we're not just trying to pad our pockets, we're trying to utilize the latest in technology to make this as seamless and efficient as possible, so much more minimal fees than you'd see elsewhere. 0 fraud because we're actually tracking those tickets and ownership on the blockchain. So at any time you can look into that. Anybody with a blockchain explorer can look into that and see who is owning those tickets, where those tickets are at in the process. 100% transparent. Again, you can just peer into that with a blockchain explorer. You don't even have to be using our software. You could build your own to look into this because we're recording this data on public blockchains. And fully customizable. So you can have fee splits that go to artists. You can have fee splits that go to venues and event producers. This is important. So think of one use case here. There are many, but this is one that I'm sure you'll understand. Now, again, we're on that hot date, all right? And you're looking for some tickets, but maybe they sold out online and you already told your significant other, hey, I already got these tickets, but there's usually some scalpers out there or ticket touters that are out at the corner. So you're gonna give it a whirl. Try to go there a half hour before the event, see if you can pick up a ticket outside. But you're worried, man, maybe it's a fraudulent ticket or one that's been sold multiple times. You're not quite sure about that. So instead of just, forking over cash to this person and all your hard-earned euros and seeing if you get lucky and actually get a ticket that works, instead of that, you're actually able to scan it or even text this in to a text message number and get an instant reply from our blockchain explorer or somebody else's that is looking at this that says, yes, this ticket is owned by this person that you're talking to and it's still valid. It hasn't been used yet. And if you want to guarantee that further, you can actually go on the PassageX network right there and just hit buy right there, purchase it at the door, or you could give them your cash if you're walking straight in and know that this was just validated as still valid. That's a total game changer when you can have that security just in milliseconds. All right, so a little bit about how the PassageX network works. If you're not technically oriented, feel free to take a short 30-second nap right now. So basically, it starts out with the primary ticketing company. They're the guys that are selling for the event, right? So this is the company Passage that I run, but we've also got this network on top that we built now for the secondary sales called the PassageX network. And that has our special private blockchain, which is running the PassageX ticket ledger here. So we're recording every sale that happens there from multiple primary networks. So this could be Passage, this could be 1,000 different small ticketing companies, and even events that are running their own ticketing. So they could be recording their tickets on there just to keep track of them. And then we actually push all that data to public blockchains. So this could be Ethereum, this could be Ethereum Classic, this could be Expanse. But you know what the best one that we found yet for this is? STEEM. We're actually recording live tickets right now to STEEM. And this isn't just vaporware. This is something we have up and running. We've been tracking ticket sales for the last several months here that we've been pushing into it. And so even today, we have been recording tickets on STEEM. This is the first time that we know of that event tickets have ever been recorded on STEEM. So it's a pretty cool thing. So as far as the top end, before I show you exactly how that works, so fan number one would buy a ticket. They could then list their ticket for sale because it's already showing up here. Fan number 2 could purchase that ticket after it's been resold, or just look it up to see if that ticket is valid on here. So that's where the lookup services go as well. All right, so how does this work, actually? We've got a short demo. I didn't want to do it live. I don't know about you guys. Are you having internet problems here? Yeah, a little bit? No? It's been in and out for us, so instead of trusting it, I decided to just record this. But we literally just recorded this in the lobby a few minutes ago. It wasn't long ago at all. So this stuff is all pretty recent. So what you're seeing here is this is the PassageX network. So right now, it's scrolling down. We're seeing tickets that are recorded in real time. These were earlier today that they were recorded on here. So these are all tickets that are flowing in real time. This is just a little browser that we've created for it so you can see what's going on. So now we're going to push over. These are PassageX tickets that are on Steam, that we've actually been tracking on Steam, which are just some of them right now. It's not all of them, but eventually it could be. So this is like a ticketing company. This is mine, actually, an event that we have listed there. I'm buying a free ticket because for the test, I didn't want to spend actual money, but this will work for real tickets as well. Throw in some gibberish, hit checkout. All right, so now we've got our final checkout. It's going to continue through. And again, this could be any ticketing platform out there that is recording systems. These are not, nothing special here. Ticket purchase complete. Now this is actually the blockchain browser that we have here watching our private network. So we're waiting for 5 seconds to go by because we're actually tracking 5-second block times for this to process through the blockchain here. So as soon as we've waited on that, we look back on our Explorer. There it pops up, Ocean Fire. So now we can dig into those details. And if you are technically minded, you'll appreciate this. We can actually click through to a public blockchain explorer. This is steemd.com. So this is public. You can go to this right now as a consumer or somebody. You can go and see the ticket details that have been posted here. Now I realize this looks like a little bit of gibberish, but you could develop your own application to make this look very nice. You could use ours, which is going to just straighten it out and say, hey, look, ticket valid or ticket not valid. Very simple. This can be very, very simple to use for consumers. All right, so back to the presentation on this here. So, why do we like Steem for using this and recording tickets? Why don't we have that on other networks? Well, we do have it on some others. But one of the biggest problems that we see out there, there are several big ones, but one of them is that other networks are slow. I don't know, do you guys use Bitcoin at all? Yeah, a little bit. So you know that right now for confirmation on Bitcoin, you could be waiting 30 minutes, maybe 40, 50 minutes just for your transaction to go through and get some confirmations and them to give you your whatever you're owed for that confirmation. It's just annoying. It's super long. Ethereum is also a lot longer than what you see on Steem, not quite as bad as Bitcoin. But Steem, 3 seconds. 3 seconds and we're done. It's amazingly fast. You got to talk to Ned a little bit if you want to figure out exactly how all this is done in the development team, but it's amazing. It's incredibly fast. Number 2, zero transaction fee model. We love this. If we were to go over to Ethereum, and this is actually one thing that sets us apart. So let me mention just real quick how we're a little bit different than some other ticketing projects out there. Because you may have heard of a few. There's Crypto Tickets, which is a recent one. Aventus, these are all some. They're kind of doing their own thing. They may or may not have an open network to plug in, but they're trying to put an entire ticket on the blockchain. It's prohibitively expensive. They're specifically trying to do this on Ethereum. Last we checked, it was about $6 just to store a ticket on Ethereum. That's a lot. With Steem, we're taking care of this in a cent or two in actual cost, if that. We're basically just staking money to be able to do this. So we stake money, we're not even spending money, and we're completing these transactions. It's an incredible model for what we're looking at. Helps out the economics a lot. We don't have to spend, $6 on each side of a transaction just to see it take place, because we're just tracking that ticket. We're not putting the whole ticket on, and we're using a network that actually makes sense for this versus something that's overloaded with a bunch of ICO junk right now, unfortunately. Custom JSON operations. This is going to let us actually set up our own marketplace. It just lets us have a lot of customization on Steem here. And then a lot of awesome stuff coming down the pipeline. You heard Ned talk about SMT tokens earlier. That's the awesome tech coming down the line. There's a lot of other cool things. Steem is very forward thinking, and we're just excited to see what comes next and integrate that as quickly as possible. But we need your help to get there. So right now, we're finishing up development. We're going to start launching this. We're starting to collect more partners. We have some other ticketing companies that are involved. But we need you to help us by spreading the word. If this is something you believe in, if you believe in lower fees for consumers, more revenue going to artists, and zeroing out fraud wherever possible, please, please help us spread the word. So this is to anybody. Anybody that might be interested in that. Artists, fans, ticketing platforms, literally anybody you think might be interested in this, even anybody that's just ever had a problem buying tickets and those fees going too high. Number 2, we have an upcoming token sale. Stay in tune, sign up on the website. We'll have some details on that. We'd love for you to get involved, but even if you're not into that crowd, not into that sort of thing, we still want your help spreading the word. Number 3, community-led development. We're really depending on the community to help us push this forward with suggestions, with their own efforts on development. We really want to involve the community as much as possible. We have several tasks that we think could really push this stuff to the next level. So really want the community to be involved. So if you're a developer, or you know anybody who's a developer on this side, or you just have some big ideas on the technical side of things, we'd love to hear from you. Rob is over there. We've already heard a lot from him. Hey, Rob. He's a big guy in the STEEM community, and he's already been giving us some awesome ideas on pushing this to the next level. So if you guys have any ideas, please continue to bring those in. And again, you can check us out at PassageX.com. There's an email sign up. Follow us on Steam. It's a brand new account. Just launched it here, so we don't have anything up there, but follow us. We will soon. And PassageX.com/Steem. That's where you can actually see those Steem transactions as they're flowing onto the blockchain, which again is live on the Steem blockchain right now. So that's that. Thank you guys so much. There's some contact info. We've got myself and Doug, our tech lead up here, everybody on our team that's working on this right now. So we'd love to hear from you. Yeah. Cool. 2 minutes left? Cool. Any questions? Yeah. I think there's a mic if you want to use that too. But.
Oh, yeah, please use the mic back there so that way we'll hear it live. You're being streamed live right now and recorded. We want everyone to benefit. Please use that. Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, here you go. Are you open source? And what is the token about? Like, what's the...
Yeah, so we are open sourcing as much of this as possible. Yes, there will be open source versions of everything. So if you wanted to take this, run your own marketplace, your own version of this, your own fork of this, you could absolutely do that right away. What is the token about? The token is about usage of our platform. So if you're an event creator or a ticketing platform on this, or somebody selling their ticket, technically you'll have this token working in the background to get up and running on the system. This will be both your membership, basically, to jump on the system, and it's also the ways that fees are going to be paid on the platform. We'll be logging transactions separately, but it will handle the fee payments there. So these are the two main things. We're going to build in other economics around that as well to try to incentivize this to be more of an open community, have people creating nodes on our existing, our private network and as well. So there will be a lot of uses for this, but those are the basic ones right off. Yeah.
I have a question, not mentioning any names, but I can see this is really powerful. And there might be some masters of tickets that are out there that might oppose you in some way. Have you seen any of that, and how would you react to it?
Yeah. So as you are alluding to, there are some masters of tickets. There are some big companies that definitely have vertical monopolies, and they try to silo things off and make sure nobody else can infringe on their space. So that's why we're opening this up. We're trying to make it so rather than something that is only one company that's doing this and trying to take over a share of the market, because they already, on the primary sales, it's those guys. On the secondary market, it's StubHub. They have some big footholds, 60+% of the market. If we can bring everybody else together, all those little guys, we can definitely make a dent in this. We can make them a little squeamish about all the stuff that they've been doing to try to push people away. So yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Linebrink. Let's hear it for him.